I've heard many theories regarding the historicity of the Exodus, ranging from the account being 100% historical to 100% mythical and everything in between. More recently, he says Richard Friedman has proposed an interesting take that it was the Levites only that escaped and migrated out of Egypt. Do you have a take on it? Do you think 2 million plus Israelites escaped Egypt and entirely replaced the local Canaanite locals? Do you think the number might have been less? Was it just the Levites? Love to hear your thoughts. Okay. Tom, it is called Ask NT Wright Anything, though.
Absolutely. No, these are great questions. I should say, professionally speaking, I'm an ancient historian from 200 BC to 200 AD. Whenever the Exodus happened, it's a long time before that. So I do not claim to be up to speed. I haven't read the recent research on this. I do remember from years ago running into questions about the date and the route and the numbers, etc. Did they go this way, that way? How long was it? And so on. And there's no doubt in my mind that the account in the book of Exodus has been written up with considerable theological and literary artistry. But like the Gospels, that doesn't mean it didn't happen, just that the book of Exodus is not giving us, and no serious reader should assume it does, a kind of what you'd have seen with a television camera perched on the edge of the pyramids, actually, to watch them all go. It's not that sort of a book, but that doesn't mean that nothing happened. Sure. We in our culture really struggle with this. We think it must either be all absolutely exactly as it happened, or it's all a lie. And people wobble on that. And really you don't need to. You need to learn to read the Pentateuch, the first 5 books, as a whole, see the story that's being told, and then the real focus is on rescue and law and presence. And the rescue from Egypt, it's very emphatic that the people of Israel know themselves to be the rescued slaves, the freed slaves. That's just deep in the Jewish DNA. How that got there, if there wasn't an Exodus, I have no idea. But then also, the giving of the law, something happened which they all construed as a meeting with the one true God. But the giving of the law wasn't so now you'll know how to behave. It was because I want to come and live in your midst. And for that, you need to be sorted out because you're messed up at the moment. And those things, again, are deep in the ancient Israel DNA, long before the time of King David and Solomon. And I'm not sure how they got there if there wasn't, in fact, something like this going on. Now, that's a very general thing. I do not know about the numbers. I gather there are different theories about what the meaning of some of these ancient Hebrew words for numbers may be. I confess I couldn't count up to 1,000 in ancient Hebrew if you put me on the spot. I more or less recognize the words when I'm reading them, but so I wouldn't claim to know about that. But I think, please, let's look at what the story is actually saying and not getting stuck on the tiny details.
Yes, again, I would recommend as well, Stu, for a bit more, for at least just one perspective on this from both a Christian and a skeptic. I did a very interesting program with Ted Wright of Epic Archaeology on Unbelievable, looking at different theories around the Exodus and that sort of thing. But I'll leave that in the links.
When I was originally studying, I found Old Testament archaeology absolutely fascinating. And for a few weeks, I thought, wow, maybe I should spend my life doing this. And so I kind of look at that stuff rather like one looks at somebody with whom one was fleetingly in love. You know, that was really nice.
What does seem to happen, though, rather like the New Testament, from what I see, archaeological discoveries tend to confirm rather than disconfirm.
Yes, that case can be overstated. You know, somebody gave me when I was young a book called The Bible Has History. The subtitle was something like Archaeology Confirms the Book of Books. So we found the flood and we found this and we've got that. And the answer is, actually there's quite a lot of that, but there are always more questions.
Of course.
Archaeology is only ever a tiny bit of the evidence. You know, I said to the students yesterday in my seminar, we're still waiting for them to dig up 2 Philippians or 3 Corinthians. I'd like to know what Paul said about such and such.
Or the ending of Mark or something like that.
Yes, absolutely. We can get there if you like. Yes.
Well, we'll do that in a later podcast, actually. Someone's got a question on that.